Hello friends, Adam here with FED. Recently I've been thinking about the differences between those who have crests and those who don't in three houses. What separates them statistically, skills wise, just all sorts of different factors. And I really wanted to talk about that today with you guys. But before we get started, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We talk about Fire Emblem all the time. Also join the Discord, link in the description, like the video, all that stuff I'm supposed to say. Please do those things. And of course, comment your thoughts on today's video after you have watched it for a minute. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say on this subject. Alright. Sorry if I sound sick. It's because I am. So this is going to be a short video. If I talk too much, I start coughing, like hacking a lung. It does not feel good, so I'm going to try and keep it short. I'm going to just get my thoughts out. Crest in Three Houses. Some of them are definitely better than others. You know, you have stuff like the Crest of Earnest prevents enemy counterattacks when using a weapon. Like, that's good stuff. Everyone knows the Crest of Fraldarius is really good, right? Everyone knows the Crest of Fraldarius is really good. It's part of the reason Felix is amazing, is as amazing as he. Just 40% of the time, he just gets +5 damage. Really good stuff, right? And there's other ones that are interesting as well. In particular, I think like Daphne and Gautier are interesting, just because their proc rates are so high, 70 for major, 40 for minor crest. So, yeah, all sorts of fun ones. But Indec would be fun if it, actually activated ever, but its activation rate is still low. But anyways, not every character in the game has access to these, pretty powerful abilities. These are pretty good inherent skills to have. So how does Three Houses handle that? How does Three Houses make sense of characters not having the same kind of rights and privileges to begin with? And I thought, okay, so maybe it's a stats thing. So I went over to base stats, right? Here are all the base stats of all the characters. And this is serenusforest.net. Here are all the base stats of every character. Every playable character, plus like Rhea for some reason, and Sothis for some reason, and Gerald too, for that. But yeah, every playable character is listed here. So, just looking at it, I couldn't really see anything crazy, so I decided to put them on a spreadsheet. I had to throw them on a spreadsheet and get the averages. So this first list you see here, this is those with crest. Characters with crest, and this is their averages. So they average 26 HP, 8 strength, 7 magic, 6 dexterity, 7 speed, 5 luck, 5 defense, and I'm rounding just to the whole number that's shown. 5 res and 6 charisma, 6 charm. Which is, those numbers by themselves don't really tell us anything, but we compare them against this list, which is, these are characters that don't have crest, all of these. All the playable characters that don't have crest. Fun little thing, a lot of these, like, tons of crest, man. Lots of crest people. And I think the class that has the least crest is Black Eagles, by the way. That's kind of an interesting thought. There's 4 Black Eagles without a crest, which is more than I think other. So the averages. So we're comparing these against these, right? And honestly, they're similar enough that I don't really see a big difference base stat wise. Luck is noticeably higher with like almost an entire point, actually, for those without a crest, which I think is kind of an interesting thought. Maybe they're like, oh, let's give them a little more luck without the crest. Another thing to look at is the magic stat. Those with a crest tend to have a higher magic stat, but that's a little misleading because if you look through the list, there's more magic users here. Like on average, like the ratio of magic to non-magic users is a little higher in the crest area than it is in the not crest. So I think that's a little misleading, but that's still a thing. They have higher magic if they have a crest generally, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, not too much difference in base stats overall. They are similar enough that I'm not going to say that one way or another one is just better. Alright, so the next thought is growth rates, right? Back to Santa's Forest. Next thought is growth rates. And again, just looking, it's hard to really say one way or the other. Of course, you have outliers. Not outliers, but of course you have characters like Claude, Dimitri, Edelgard that are all just going to be really busted. Because that's just how it is. And then some of the DLC characters that you paid for, so they're going to be extra good kind of thing. Because if you pay $25, they better be pretty baller, right? And, looking through this, you can't really tell a whole lot, so I did the same thing. Go back to our spreadsheet here. So here are all those with crest and their growth rate average, which, again, doesn't tell us a whole lot until we compare it against those without crest. So these are without crest, no crest. So with crest, no crest. That's what the NC and C is. Just interestingly enough, higher HP on the no crest side. Noticeably higher, almost 5 points higher. Pretty cool. Interesting balancing thing. But overall, they are pretty similar. Again, aside from magic, but again, we talked about that already. There tends to be more magic in the crest bearers area. And also resistance, but again, same kind of idea. And now that I'm looking at it, defense is almost a full 1.5 higher on the not crest bearers, which is interesting. Oh. Charm is noticeably higher for the crest havers. Yes, the crest havers too. So I guess what it comes down to is that as far as stats are concerned, it's really not. That's not really a factor, I guess. Something to know, I didn't, for the growths here, I didn't include aptitude into Cyril. I don't know what that would do to change him. I guess we can change that really quick. It'll just take a second, right? So, activate equals. Now I'm just curious. Shouldn't change it too much, but I don't know. I guess it's worth checking. My brain is like barely working right now. Sorry guys, let me. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to worry about it too much. It shouldn't change it a whole lot. It would change. It would raise some of them a touch, but not enough to be super noticeable. So, anyways, the stats don't really matter. Sorry for that tangent. Stats aren't that different between cresters and non-cresters. So the next thing you think is, okay, abilities and arts, right? Abilities and arts. It's got to be something. So first you look at dependent abilities, and actually this is probably the most telling one, that there isn't a whole lot different. You could even argue that the people who have crest have better or more. But like Ferdinand has both Rally Dex and Battalion Desperation. Edelgard has a ton because that's just who she is. But then there's Hubert, who doesn't have a crest, who also has a lot of rallies, and then Battalion Wrath, Battalion Desperation, a lot of good stuff. Look at the Blue Lions. Annette has a ton, has a crest. Dimitri has a ton, has a crest. But then you have, Felix, who has a crest and only has one. You have Mercedes, who has a crest, only has one. Sylvain only has one. But looking at it here, actually, in the Blue Lions, if you don't have a crest, you do not have more than one dependent ability. I'm sure Golden Deer will be similar. And it basically is kind of the same idea. Ashen Wolves will be special because... Alright, so that's not a whole thing, and then you'll look at dependent arts, right? And this is where I think it gets the most interesting in the favor of not crest havers, non-cresters. Edelgard, any of the three main protagonists are going to have a lot, no matter what, just because they're the main characters. But, and there's outliers both ways. Like, Ferdinand has a ton. But then you have both Caspar and Petra, who both have a lot as not cresters, non-crest people. And even Hubert, as a mainly magic guy, has two. Pretty interesting. Especially when you compare to like Linhart, who does have a crest and has 0 combat arts that are special to him. Dimitri and gang. This one's kind of doesn't really fit in with that trend that I was talking about, the Black Eagles, as much. The dude does have the most, and he doesn't have a crest. But Felix, actually no, Felix ties him, also doesn't have a crest, but Ash also has a good amount. And similar idea in Golden Deer. And or just CRS units. CRS. So yeah, what it comes down to is that if you have a crest in this game, it kind of treats it like they do in the world. They're just kind of better in more instances than not. And not in like, not necessarily, like I think units like, I'd rather use Leone over not Caspar, over say, I'm trying to think of a crest, or crest haver that I like less than Leone. I'd rather use Leone than Ingrid. I think point blank volley is a lot better than anything that Ingrid could bring to the table with like Hexblade, Hit and Run, and Frozen Lance. Statistically, I think they're similar enough. If not, Leone just has higher strength overall. It's just more interesting and more fun to use. So the crest isn't the end all be all, but I don't think they really took having a crest into account when balancing characters. This doesn't seem like it. I couldn't see any major trends. If you see any, let me know in the comments. I'm curious to hear what you have to say. Please share your thoughts there, and I'll make sure to read and respond to some. Well, I read all of them, but I'll try to respond. I try to respond to some now. I'm trying to be better about it. But please share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe, like, check out the Discord. Hey, consider becoming a member of the channel. Go follow me on Twitch, all that stuff. I'll catch you next time.